What if I told you there was a woman so dangerous, so manipulative? She made even the most innocent people surrender everything they had, and sometimes even their lives. This isn't a fictional villain, but a real woman who lived among us. Stay with us as we uncover the horrifying truth about Maryam Solakitis, the woman who turned faith into fear and monasteries into death traps. She was called a saint, but her actions told a different story. Imagine a serene monastery in the mountains, promising hope, healing, and salvation. But behind the peaceful facade, it hid secrets so dark, they would haunt you forever. By the time her reign ended, Maryam Solakitis had left behind a trail of suffering, starvation, and mysterious deaths. How did she get away with it for so long? And what finally brought her down? Born in 1883 in Greece, Maryam came from a poor family, but she wasn't one to accept her fate. She joined the church with dreams of power and wealth. And soon, she found her way into the inner circle of influential monks, becoming the right hand of Archbishop Matthew. Together, they built a monastery called the Virgin in the Pines. But its purpose was far from holy. It became a magnet for vulnerable people seeking refuge, and that's where the nightmare began. Maryam had a sinister plan. She claimed to treat tuberculosis patients, a deadly disease with no cure back then. Families, desperate to save their loved ones, flocked to her monastery. But instead of healing, these patients were locked in cold, dark cells. They were starved, neglected, and left to die. What's worse, Maryam would force families to donate their property in exchange for salvation. Those who refused faced brutal punishments. Some were tied up and tortured. Others mysteriously disappeared. It seemed like Maryam was untouchable. Her followers worshipped her, and no one dared question her authority. But everything changed in 1949 when a grieving father came forward. His daughter, who had disappeared after visiting the monastery, was traced back to Maryam. As the police dug deeper, they uncovered chilling evidence. Hundreds of deaths, illegal activities, and unimaginable cruelty. Maryam's fortress of lies was starting to crumble. On December 4, 1950, the police stormed the monastery. What they found was beyond horrifying. Malnourished women, dying children, and prisoners locked in basements. Over 300 homes and properties were discovered in Maryam's name. As her trial began, the world watched in shock. Maryam showed no remorse. She continued to call herself a saint, even as victims testified against her. It took 3 trials to convict her of fraud, torture, and multiple murders. By the end, she was sentenced to 14 years, but she only served 1 before her death. Maryam Solakitis' story is a chilling reminder of how blind faith can be manipulated. Even today, her followers claim she was innocent, calling her a saint. But the evidence speaks for itself. Hundreds of lives were lost because of her greed and cruelty. What do you think? Can someone like Maryam ever truly repent? Or are her crimes too monstrous to forgive? If you found this story shocking, don't forget to share it with others. Let the world know about the dark side of history that often goes untold. And if you want more stories like this, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. What's your take on this chilling tale? Let us know in the comments below. We're waiting to hear your thoughts.